Oklahoma, what happened? I will have to lose to Texas. See ya. You're not going to.
I have a hard time trying to convince myself that Oklahoma's going to pull all this crap show act together in time for this game. I got Texas winning this game, and I also think they're going to cover the spread. And if Ewers is playing, you could see it get ugly. That's all I'm going to say, because Oklahoma's defense is terrible. A win is a win. Ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all been waiting for this one. Welcome to the Week 6 recap. Not the best of the best games, and arguably maybe one of the worst weekends of college football up to this point when it comes down to close games, but it was still a good one. I mean, come on now, we're college football fans. There is no such thing as a quote-unquote bad Saturday of college football. We've got a ton of stuff to get into. Two of the biggest topics, though, without a single doubt in my mind, is Alabama barely, and I mean barely escaping Texas A&M, and also what Texas did. Before I say anything else about Texas, I want to make this known and clear, and no, I'm not joking or trolling. Texas is back, and I believe that 100%. Whoa. Hold on. Don't attack me in the comments just yet. I know that's a bold statement, but I'll explain why later in this video. I hope you guys are excited to get into this video as I am. By the way, real quick, I normally tweet during the games on Twitter. You guys tweet back at me. We like to have a good time, so go follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. I'm gonna be honest, that's one of my favorite parts about Saturdays, is when you guys let me know your thoughts about all the games on Twitter. I love when you guys reply to the tweets, tweet at me, just let me know your thoughts, and matter of fact, you know what, I'll do this. Everybody that follows me today, which is Sunday, I'll follow you back. And if you already follow me and you want to follow back, just tweet at me something like, yo, Matt, can I get a follow? All right, Matt, blah, 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 shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Most of you know how we do it on Sundays. We start out with our 11 a.m. games, and we work our way down. I say we start off with this one first, a game that extremely disappointed me, and I thought it had the potential to be arguably the best game on Saturday, and that's Tennessee and LSU. And when I say I was disappointed, I'm talking about from a fan standpoint. I didn't have a horse in this race. Don't really care for LSU, don't really care for Tennessee. I just want to see good football. I did predict Tennessee to win this game, so I'm not shocked about that. It's more of, it was over from the start. And when I say it was over from the start, I mean literally from the start. Tennessee kicked the ball off and LSU fumbled the kickoff and Tennessee scored a touchdown. This game was never in doubt. And honestly, it's a shame that this was an 11 a.m. kickoff. If this was at 7 p.m. in Baton Rouge, maybe it'd have been closer or a better atmosphere, but it wasn't. Long story short, LSU's offense, not so good. Tennessee's offense, really good. I'm not going to rant and rave on LSU's offensive struggles. Some people like the quarterback Jaden Daniels. Others, like myself, feel like he's not the right guy. I do believe he makes good throws here and there, but that's the problem. It's here and there. It's not consistent. Him and the wide receivers, they've never been on the same page. Now, let's talk about Tennessee, though. Hendon Hooker was Hendon Hooker. At the beginning of the season, I told you guys he was my dark horse candidate to win the Heisman Trophy, and now he is my front runner to win it. I put him in that front runner category last week, and he will continue to stay that way until he plays worse. He's mature, he's a veteran, he's what makes this Tennessee offense go, similar to Bryce Young, and we'll talk about that in a second. 17 for 27, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 INTs, nearly a perfect QBR 92.2. Can't ask your quarterback to play too much better on the road against LSU. And also, he made one of the prettiest deep ball passes early in the second quarter to put him up 20-0. It was a thing of magic. I even tweeted this out during the game because I was having a hard time trying to justify how I feel about it. I said, I can't tell if Tennessee is really good or if LSU is really average. A lot of you guys in the replies, you were telling me it was a little bit of both, and I believe that, and I can agree with that. Moving along to our other 11 a.m. games, we got Michigan and Indiana. Nobody cared about this game. It was one of those signature boring Big Ten games where Michigan pulls away at the end. The Big Ten sucks. Indiana sucks. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, Michigan fans. I'm not giving you credit for a win against Indy freaking Anna. I don't care, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Play some real competition. Play in a real conference. Moving along to our other 11 a.m. game. This was the college game day, game of the week, or whatever you want to call it. And I still feel like not too many people cared about it. And I mean, to be honest, it's not two big football programs. It's TCU and Kansas. Regardless of that, though, Kansas and TCU were both 5-0 heading into this game. Unfortunately for Kansas, their starting quarterback, not Jaden, but Jalen Daniels, he went out and the backup came in, and he did pretty good. He was 16 for 24, 250, and 4 touchdowns. Not too bad for a backup quarterback, if I had to say so myself. On the flip side for TCU, and it's the reason they pulled away in this one, Max Duggan was back at it. He He played phenomenal. 23 for 33, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 INT, and a QBR right at 84. It is unfortunate that Kansas lost this game at home, but you got to take into account their backup quarterback played the entire game, and they only lost by 7 points to a really good TCU team who is 5-0. I mean, not 5-0 anymore. They're 6-0. Oh, wait. I was right the first time. They're now 5-0. My apologies for that. They were 4-0 heading into the game. Still, regardless, you get the point. TCU hasn't lost. They have a great quarterback. I think they're a good team, not a great team. Nothing to be ashamed about if you're a Kansas fan. I still believe Kansas should be a top 25 team, and we'll leave it at that. Our next 11 a.m. game, man, we had a lot of these. Before we get into the Red River Showdown, we had Arkansas, Mississippi State. This was one of the games on Saturday where I was really shocked. I thought Arkansas was going to bounce back. They just had 2 rough losses. I don't care that their starting quarterback, KJ Jefferson, couldn't go. I thought they were going to win by double digits. And yeah, that was that was not the case. Mississippi State millie rocked this team. I'm starting to pay attention to this Mississippi State team. I think this may be one of the most underrated teams in all of college football. What Mike Leach is doing there with that veteran quarterback, Will Rogers, you gotta pay attention to it. I don't think Mississippi State has an elite defense and a good enough defense to beat an Alabama or Georgia, but the offense can keep up. Their quarterback nearly had 50 pass attempts, had 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. And here's the part about Mississippi State where I'm like, okay, this could take them to a different level. They're now getting run support. Johnson, which is one of their key backs, he had 17 carries for 100 yards. When, if ever, has a Mike Leach-led team had a running back with 100 yards? Mississippi State's looking pretty dang good, but now finally we can get on to one of our main topics, the main encores. One of the main reasons you clicked onto this video, we got Quinn Ewers in Texas. Oh man, Houston, we got a problem. Where do you even start with this game? Whoa, hold on, wait a minute. Let me roll you the clip from what I said in the Week 6 preview. Matt, roll the clip. I have a hard time trying to convince myself that Oklahoma's going to pull all this crap show act together in time for this game. I got Texas winning this game, and I also think they're going to cover the spread, and if Ewers is playing, you could see it get ugly. That's all I'm going to say, because Oklahoma's defense terrible. Oh, what do you know? Matt was finally right on something. I've told all of you this since day one. The quarterback is the leader of the team. He's the leader of the men. He's the leader of the wolf pack, the leader of the sheep, the herd, whatever you want to call it. Without your so-called leader, it's a disaster, not just on the offense, but every aspect of the game. We've seen 2 outstanding examples of this, one of those being with Ewers in Texas, and the other being Bryce Young in Alabama, and we'll talk about that in just a second. I have told you guys this time after time. I've harped on it so much, and I will continue to do so, because for some odd reason, people don't want to believe me. I do think some of you are starting to come around and be like, okay, maybe Matt's right on this, but it's still taking some time. I'm not going to throw up all the video clips in the preview, but what was one of the things I harped on? What was one of the things I said? Texas fans, who is probably your best player at this given moment? Not the most important, but your best player. Bijan Robinson, from what he's done and what he's proved. However, when it comes down to who the most important player is, there's not a doubt about it in my mind. It was Quinn Ewers heading into this game. Truth of the matter is, I don't care who your running back is. It could be Derrick Henry. It can be Adrian Peterson. Don't care. The quarterback position is the most important part. And all of you saw that from start to finish on Saturday at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Did you not? And I understand it 100%. Some of you are going to be curious. Well, Matt, how does Ewers being in there or not being in there, how and why would that affect the defense? Why would that affect the special teams? He's not even on either of those. I want to try to dumb this down in the most understandable way as possible. I've played sports at a high level myself, and I'm sure many of you watching this, you also have as well, and I just hope that everybody can understand this. When your leader of your team goes down, you have to understand these aren't 35-year-old men or 40-year-old men. A lot of these kids playing are 18, 19, and 20 years old. They freak out when they see their guy, when they see the team leader, the guy they were counting on to win in the game, go down. It's panic mode. They don't know how to act. It's almost like they have a mental brain lapse and they forget how to play. To go on top of that, and this is why it also affects the defense, they get less motivated because they go, well, dang, even if we do get stops, we're not going to score on offense. Our backup quarterback is not nearly as good as Quinn. The best word to describe it is this one right here. It's demoralizing. On the flip side, when you have your leader, you have your guy, it's like, all right, let's go. I don't know if you can play better than what Ewers did. He was spectacular. 21 for 31, nearly 300 yards, 4 TDs to 1. Yeah, it was a bad interception, but the game was over. He tried throwing the ball out of bounds. I'm not going to rant on that too much. It wasn't anything really to get worked up about. QBR of 92.3. And on the ground, I expected this. Bijan Robinson had 22 carries for 130 yards, and I still believe he should have got 30 carries at minimum. Texas fans, I know you want me to rave on y'all because I'm going to criticize y'all when you do bad. The bottom line is you played an awesome game, and I think we can leave it at that. Let's talk about Oklahoma. I'm sorry I'm laughing. It's just so bad. It's so sad, too. I wish I could sit up here and say I'm shocked that Oklahoma got Donkey Kong, Ping Pong, Bing Bong, Shong Dong smashed by Texas, but I'm not. I called it in the preview. I said it could get ugly, and in matter of fact, it did. I want to make this clear. I'm not even going to talk about the Oklahoma offense. The embarrassing part about Oklahoma the past 3 weeks is the defense. Because the bottom line is, and even these OU fans would tell you themselves, we knew the offense wasn't going to be great if Gabriel wasn't in there, and even when he is in there, it's still not all too awesome. What I'm going to harp on, and this is the most concerning part, the offense is concerning, but the most concerning is the defense. It's not the offense. Who cares about the offense? You're not going to win a single game when you're giving up 49 points to Texas and 55 to TCU, and in reality, TCU could have scored 80. I'm going to ask all of you watching this video, not just a Texas fan, an OU fan, every college football fan watching this video, please answer this question in the comment section. I've been waiting to ask it. I see all these OU fans saying, we got to give Venable some time. Just give him a year or two. He'll get everything together. Well, here's my question to the entire college football community. What do you think these Texas fans and this Texas program will be saying if they were doing this stuff that Brent Venables was doing? What if it was reversed? What if Texas was losing 49-0? 55-24 in back-to-back weeks. I can tell you this, all these Texas fans right now would be saying fire Steve Sarkisian. So that is my question down below. Do you think if the roles were reversed, all these Texas fans would be saying fire Sarkisian after losing 49-0? I can tell you this, I can only speak for myself, but I believe that would be happening. Got to give some of these OU fans credit, they take up for their head coach. And the reason I brought up the comparison with Steve Sarkisian is because it's the same thing with Venables, their first-year head coaches. I've told you guys since day one, give Venables some time, but this is inexcusable. It is okay to lose to Texas. It's okay to lose to TCU and even Kansas State, but you got to keep it competitive. There's not even fighting these kids. There's not even fighting the players. I don't care about the offense. I'm talking about the defense. And it's not like OU doesn't have 3, 4, and 5-star recruits. They do. That's the worst part about it. And even I brought up this argument. Well, Nick Saban went 7-6 in his first year. Kirby Smart went 8-5 in his first year. Well, yeah, they did, but they also weren't losing this bad. Whenever both of those head coaches lost games in their first year, it wasn't even near 49-0 or 55-24. It's not even embarrassing at this point. It's straight up sad. I know Texas fans, they're loving this, though. They're eating this up. I do want to say congratulations to Texas, that fan base, entire program. Also, Quinn Ewers. Man, that kid is special. I love watching him play. I can't get enough of Ewers. I got to see him play. It's the same thing with Caleb Williams last year. He's must-see TV. Moving on down to our 2:30 games. Let's kick it off with Auburn and Georgia. This went how I expected. Georgia wins 42-10. It's no secret. Even the announcers talk about it during the game. Brian Harsin is going to be fired. It's not a if, it's a when, and I think it would be at the end of the year. My only takeaway from this game is that Stetson Bennett is still insanely mediocre, and he can't make those elite throws like a CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, or Quinn Ewers. It's looking like Stetson Bennett is going to be their kryptonite and their biggest weakness. And I know some of you are going to say, well, Matt, what are you talking about? And I'll show you the box score right here. He goes 22 for 32, 200 yards, 0 TDs, 0 INTs, QBR 76. You see the box score and you go, well, he played good, but you got to take into account 15 of those passes were bubble screens to the tight ends. When it comes down to throwing that 20-yard crossing route or a 35-yard deep route, he's just not accurate and not good. And even Georgia fans, you know this. I get it. You want to take up for your guy, but deep down, you know Bennett is not that good. I've said this for 2 straight years now. I'm not going to harp on that. It is what it is. Auburn sucks. Georgia wins. Nobody's shocked by this. Let's get a move on. We did have a top 20 matchup with Utah and UCLA. I did watch a lot of this game, more than probably your casual fans, and I was impressed with UCLA. The Dorian Thompson kid, he's been there for like 6 or 7 years now. He played good. 18 for 23, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 INT, QBR 95. He is good. UCLA is also undefeated, and maybe they could pull an upset on USC down the road. They do play Caleb Williams in about 5 weeks, and the reason I like UCLA against USC is because their offense, and I'm talking about UCLA, they can keep up with USC's. Their defense, kind of shaky, but it's the Pac-12. What do you expect? Whenever you talk about the Pac-12, I don't think anybody talks about how good they are at defense. It's kind of a known fact around college football. When you think of the Big Ten, you think of a sluggish, snowy, rainy game, low scoring. When you think of the Pac-12, you think of high scoring, no defense. And oh yeah, I know my Ohio State fans are going to want me to talk about this, but I'm not. Because until you play competition, I'm not talking about your team. Michigan State sucks. Put them in the SEC, they go 5-7. I refuse to talk about Ohio State until they play competition. And I already know you're going to have these bozo and idiotic Big Ten fans saying, Matt, what are you talking about? Well, I'm just going to show you a picture right here. Here's the Big Ten West. Currently, as to when I am speaking, Nebraska is tied for first in the Big Ten West division. Nebraska is a crap show. They're one of the worst programs in all of college football right now, and they're tied for first. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, just look at this picture. Is this not embarrassing? Purdue and Nebraska are leading the Big Ten West division. Do you know if Purdue and Nebraska, if they were in the SEC, they might not win 4 games a year? It's pathetic, man. It's absolutely pathetic. And you wonder why I say the Big Ten is so overrated. Look at who is leading your West Division. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get amped up. I don't want to. We got to get a move on. Ole Miss beats Vanderbilt 52-28. Whoop-de-doo. Congrats. Vanderbilt's one of the worst college football programs in the country as well. Good old Clemson, Dabo Swinney, and DJ Ugbadugi pulling out the win against Boston College 31-3. The ACC sucks. We all know this. And last but not least, before we get into Bama, South Carolina, what about them pulling off the upset against Kentucky? Our boy Spencer Rattler didn't play the greatest game ever, but he was all right. 14 for 19, a $170, 1 touchdown, 1 INT, QBR of 85.7. What about that? This sorry South Carolina team pulling off an upset over Kentucky. Now, it is worth mentioning Kentucky's starting quarterback Will Levis didn't play. And just like I said with Texas, when your starting quarterback is not in the ballgame, it changes everything. Clap it up. But now, finally, without further ado, the main topic, the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video, we got Texas A&M and Alabama. Oh man, I tried telling all my Alabama fans, I literally made a video Friday night when it was announced and leaked that Bryce Young will not be playing. I said I'm worried. I made an entire 9-minute video dedicated to Bryce Young and Alabama stating that if Bryce Young's not playing, it changes my prediction and I'm worried about this Bama team. What have I said time after time after time? If Bryce Young is playing quarterback for Alabama, I don't care if we're losing by 28 points. I don't care if there's 30 seconds on the clock and we're down by 7 points and need a touchdown. I don't care what the circumstance is. I'm never nervous. You know why I'm not nervous? Because I'm going to bring it up. I saw him do the impossible last year in Jordan-Hare Stadium against Auburn with 1 minute left, having to go 99 yards without a star wide receiver. And no, yeah, by the way, didn't even have a timeout. And I know some of you are going to roll your eyes when I say this. Bryce Young is a special player, but I've tried telling y'all he is more special than what some of y'all think. I've tried telling y'all, take Bryce Young off this Alabama team last year, they go 8-4. Take him off this team this year, they're not competing for a championship. I've tried telling my Bama fans this, but what do y'all say? Well, Matt, we got good backups. Jalen Milroe, he was a 4 or 5-star recruit. You got to trust the backups. Once again, it's not so much that I don't believe in Milroe and all the backups or whoever else plays quarterback. It's more so of I understand how special and rare a Bryce Young is. He's a 1 of 1. Do some of y'all know what a 1 of 1 means? It means irreplaceable. And I think a lot of you Bama fans out there, you're starting to understand where I'm coming from. Bryce Young has been so good the past 2 years when the offensive line doesn't look that great, when the running back play isn't great, when the wide receivers don't play great, he makes up for all that himself. And even till this day, I still don't think people around the country full out understand that Alabama making it to the championship game last year, that was impossible. I don't even understand how we got there. That team was not that good, and that's why Nick Saban says it was a rebuilding year. And that's why I laugh at all these fans when they go, oh, Matt, your team lost in the championship, ha-ha. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. I was just happy to be there, and I really was. Anyways, getting on topic with the game, Bryce Young doesn't play, and to say it was a crap show would be an understatement. And while I was watching this game live, I was trying to think about it in my head, but I can't even think of a time where an Alabama quarterback played this bad. I love Jalen Milroe to death. He's a humble and great guy. But this is football talk. This isn't personal. This is about how you played. Although I like Jalen Milroe, y'all know I don't sugarcoat anything, and I'm not going to in this video, so get ready. What I saw out of Jalen Milroe last night was single-handedly the worst performance I've ever seen out of an Alabama quarterback. I mean that 100%. Alabama fans, think about it. Think of the last 10 or 15 years. Jalen Hurts never played that bad. Greg McElroy never played that bad. A.J. McCarron never played that bad. And Jacob Coker never played that bad. Those 5 guys I just named off, and also Blake Sims, all the Alabama quarterbacks you think about in the past 15 years, ever since Saban has got there, have never played that bad. It was bad, and that is a nice way to put it. It was flat out awful. The only reason that A&M had a chance in the game is because of Milroe was playing. He had 2 fumbles that led to 2 touchdowns for A&M. To go on top of that, and this isn't even going to be brought up, but he also had another pass early in the third quarter. I think it was the first play where it should have been a pick 6. It literally hit the Texas A&M player in the helmet. He just didn't catch it. And also when Alabama was driving late in the fourth quarter, it was 3rd and 11, and he threw another pass that should have been intercepted. The Texas A&M player just didn't catch it. And this is why I say I'm not too big into numbers and stats and box scores. It'll give you a good perspective 80 to 85% of the time, but the other 15%, no. Look at the box score. 12 for 19, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. You see it and you're like, well, dang, he didn't play that bad. But no. You got to understand it. That does not tell you everything. He should have had 2 more INTs. So in total, he should have finished this game with easily 5 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and 2 fumbles. It got to the point, and I can't even make this stuff up, as an Alabama fan myself, I was pacing back and forth in my living room going, please just run the ball every single play. That's how I was feeling, because every single time that Milroe dropped back to pass, I was like, oh God, he's either going to run the ball and fumble or throw a terrible pass and it's going to get intercepted. That's how I felt about him, and I can't be the only Bama fan that felt that way. And it just goes to show how much Bryce Young means to this team, because I'm never worried when Bryce Young drops back to pass. I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be a touchdown or a great play. He's going to do something smart with the ball. However, when Milroe dropped back to pass, I hold my breath. And I saw a lot of people trying to say, well, oh, it's his first start. Remember, Jalen Hurts wasn't good at pass when he first got in there. And no, don't even try to pull that crap on me. Jalen Hurts was not even near as bad when he was first playing. The only knock on Jalen Hurts was he scrambled a little too much and he wasn't an accurate passer. He never messed up this bad. Don't even try to disrespect Hurts. Don't even try to start that with me. Look, I'm happy we got the win, but Milroe played like dog crap. For those people that are going to try to bring up, well, Matt, what about the 3 touchdown passes? Come on, man. They were easy passes. The MVP of this game is Jahmyr Gibbs. If Alabama doesn't have Gibbs doing what he did last night, 21 carries, 154 yards, shoot, I don't know what they would have done. On the flip side for A&M, let's talk a little bit about them. Haynes Burger King, 25 for 46, 250, 2 touchdowns, and 1 terrible interception. QBR 72. I didn't think King played terrible, but he didn't play good. At halftime, I even tweeted this out, and it's how I felt completely about the game. The storyline of this game and whoever wins this game is going to come down to who's going to play worse and make one vital mistake. Haynes King or Jalen Milroe. Also, to go on top of Milroe's 3 turnovers, Alabama's running back Jace McClellan, he had a fumble, and Alabama's kicker, who's been one of the best kickers in his entire existence at Alabama, he missed 2 easy chip shot field goals. Well, one of them was 50-yarders, but the other was a chip shot. But that was rare because normally when Riker walks onto the field, I'm like, oh yeah, he's going to hit this, and he missed 2. And as the game continued to go on, you know what I was thinking to myself? Man, this is feeling like one of those signature games where Alabama beats themselves, and that's what happened. 4 turnovers and 2 missed field goals. It couldn't have went any worse for Bama. And then I'm sure we all saw that play on the last drive where Haynes King is running to the sideline and he throws one up in between 2 Alabama defenders and Evan Stewart snags it out of the air. And the first thing I thought of, I was like, oh my goodness, here we go again. What in the 2014 Johnny Manziel did I just witness? That's what I thought of. I had horrible flashbacks to when Johnny Manziel was doing that crap. I was like, yep, here we go. A signature play where Alabama loses on some bull crap throw. Ultimately, though, it comes down to one final and last play on the 2-yard line, and Alabama gets to stop. Before we go any farther, I want to give a lot of respect and credit to Alabama's defense. I was beyond proud. I'm so proud of my defense, and I'm so proud about the team. I'll talk about that in a second. But outside of those 2 fumbles that led to 14 points, Alabama's defense only gave up 6 points. I also believe 3 of those other 6 points came off of another fumble from Jace McClellan. The defense played wonderful. Can't ask them to do too much more. Overall for the team, though, you got to understand, I'm not like these crazy Alabama fans and delusional fans where I go, dang, we only beat A&M by 4 points. This sucked. We suck. This is a terrible win. No, anytime we win a game, I'm happy. I'm never going to apologize for a win, especially in the SEC. It's hard to win every single week. And all my Georgia fans, what did I say last week? I gave y'all credit. I said, hey, a lot of people are going to criticize you for barely beating Missouri, but it's hard to win in the SEC, especially on the road. I'm proud of this Alabama team, and I'll explain why. 4 turnovers, 2 missed field goals, and a backup quarterback. We overcame all that adversity and still won. What's there not to be proud about? That is what life is about. When adversity hits you, when things go the wrong way, you got to respond in a great manner. And we did that. To go on top of that, we won a game when the worst of the worst happened and we had no business winning. Think about it. To make that many mistakes and still win the game, that should go to tell you how good this Bama team is. I'm proud of my guys. We played hard like always. We always played hard. It was an ugly game, but we came out of it with a win. And like I said at the very beginning of this video, a win is a win. It don't matter if it's by 40 points or 4. A win is a win. All in all, it's the same thing with Ewers. I think Texas fans, you're going to understand where I'm coming from. And Alabama fans, you're now going to understand where I'm coming from. Without your leader at quarterback playing in there, it's a different team. Alabama is not the same football team without Bryce, and I think that is clear as day to see. I am very curious. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below. But right away,